So, after playing through Uncharted Drake's Fortune, what do I think of the game? Well, it is still great to play, but it's definitely showing its age. Here are my thoughts.
Okay, what are you up to?
First of all, gameplay. Much like any sort of shooter in this generation, you are forced to choose your loadout, 2 weapons at a time. Only having the ability to hold 1 rifle weapon and 1 pistol might seem annoying, but it works in forcing you to be careful in what you take with you. Do you have a longer range weapon with less boot, or do you go for the close-up powerhouse that is a shotgun, the ordinary pistol with plenty of bullets, or the one-hit kill machine with only 12 shots? It adds thrill and adds to the action, especially if the weapon you have runs out of ammo and you have to desperately search for new hardware. Oh no, I've got nothing! Run! Just... That brings me on to the actual shooting. It feels good, and each weapon is distinctive, be it the recoil of the AK, the higher rate of fire from the M9, or the power behind each shot from the Dragunov sniper. I do, however, object from the integration of 6-axis with the grenades. Not only is it impractical, it's downright annoying, and in the end it's just easy to throw the dumb things and hope someone dies. Like this! Oh, come on! Aiming is simple, and cover works well, if a little picky at times, with Drake sticking to the wrong side of walls, or indeed clinging to walls when all I wanted to do was roll. Being as this game was a release title, these things you can sort of forgive if you're in a nice mood. It's a good thing that shooting works, as there are plenty of opportunities to kill some dudes. There are times when it seems that there are just no end to pirates and mercs, and sometimes it can be repetitive. But because the shooting works so well, and so does the cover alongside it, some firefights can be over in a jiffy, and each one always excites. The climbing mechanics are good too. I pretty much pick up a new system. Nothing too technical is implemented. Just point the analog stick in the desired direction and jump. If at any time I failed a climbing segment, it was more to do with my inability rather than the poor controls. However, there are some climbing parts where you have to be spot on to continue. I'm looking at you, Vines. Oh, what did I do that for? Oh, bye bye. And these parts could become frustrating. Yet these are few and far between to actually ruin any sort of experience.
I'm afraid this is as close as we're getting to El Dorado.
That brings me on to the experience of the game. Back in 2007, I would have said that this game looks stunning, realistic, and with great attention to detail. But, using my power of hindsight, I will say this instead. It still looks nice, but cracks are starting to form in its foundation. It showcases lovely vistas, has a funky little wet clothes gimmick, and performs nice camera panning shots to flaunt what it can do when pushed. Yet, compared to new games, it just looks dated. That's not a bad thing, this game is 5 years old, remember. If you're not a graphics whore like me, the main experience comes from the character interactions. Drake, Sully, and Elena come across as completely believable personalities. The feisty female,
we can argue about it later. It'll be great.
The crude yet lovable gentleman, and the happy-go-lucky adventurer.
Oh, wait! Old Francis took a bullet for you. Yeah, I thought this kind of thing only happened in the movies.
There's even some space for a bit of slapstick in there too.
Come on. I always am. Ah! I did not see that!
This comes through the voice acting, and I do have to slap a seal of approval on this, as no one slips up on what can be the more difficult part of acting. Even the antagonists sound like complete dicks, especially Eddie.
Drake, if we don't make it out of here, I just want you to know, I hate your guts.
Yeah, likewise, pal. Now let's do this.
One thing I will say though is the game's length is just a bit too short. My playthrough clocked in at around 5 hours, which was on a higher difficulty setting. Even though I did know what I was doing most of the time, and even though I didn't find all the collectible items, a normal blind playthrough would have only stopped the clock at about 7 hours. That's like an ordinary shift at work, and with no multiplayer to speak of, once you've completed it 100%, there is no replay value. It's a game where you complete once, maybe twice, and then either trade it in or leave to gather dust in your collection. That's exactly what happened to mine.
You beautiful son of a bitch!
Uncharted Drake's Fortune is a fun game. It has tight controls, memorable characters, and at times it can look very pretty. though it may be played with things such as small playtime, annoying 6-axis controls, and frustratingly long gun battles, these don't detract from just how good the game is. I do recommend it to anyone who hasn't had a chance to play it to do so. I give Uncharted Drake's Fortune an 8 out of 10.